I just want to quickly jump in and just ask this question. This 52% of folks who have been in their jobs for less than 3 months who are now looking, how does that number, that seems like such a striking number. How does that number compare to maybe 5 years ago? I mean, I know people are always looking, but 3 months or less seems like such a striking number to me.
Yeah, a great question. Great question. And I can only assume, and when you see, I haven't seen a figure that high, Mildred,
Mhm,
before at 52%.
mhm,
We probably weren't even tracking this that much just 5 to 10 years ago. So I think we're
mhm,
looking at it more because attrition is very high. I
mhm,
mean, the average attrition rate in the U.S. economy is 18%, right?
mhm,
Once you start getting in, and don't get me wrong, some attrition is good attrition, right? You
mhm,
certainly don't want it at zero because
mhm,
you definitely need some healthy attrition there because sometimes
mhm,
you have the wrong fit or something like that. But yes, this is much higher than I
mhm,
think we've seen, and I honestly think what's driving this is that for the reasons I've mentioned, people go in
mhm,
there with certain expectations and they
mhm,
find out that either they've been sold a bill of goods or it
mhm,
just wasn't what they expected and it wasn't
mhm,
really conveyed or they thought something different. There was a lot of miscommunication. And then
mhm,
all of a sudden, keep in mind, you're constantly being solicited. So
mhm,
if you are not fulfilled, if you are not satisfied, there are many more organizations. And today, as you know, we have social media. There's so many ways to identify and communicate with you.
mhm,
As an employer, all you have to be is on LinkedIn, and
mhm,
people will constantly solicit you. So I think the access is different today. Many more
mhm,
people are accessible to other employers, and
mhm,
social media has done that for us. So I think solicitations are certainly have increased. So again, your visibility of being out there allows you, and if those employers catch you on a day where you're disappointed or you are not fulfilled or satisfied, you're vulnerable, and they
mhm,
can put something in front of you that ultimately will attract you to them. And since
mhm,
there's really not this stigma anymore that hey, you're a job hopper. I'm not saying that you wouldn't have to explain those things away, and good employers will want to know why
mhm,
you have shifted. However,
mhm,
because the demand for talent, people need talent, and
mhm,
a good employer will determine whether hey, I understand why you made that jump. So those
mhm.
are the conversations, and I encourage as we'll go through here in positioning yourself of what you need to do really to get that full picture so you may not necessarily be disappointed in that
Mhm.
first 90 days or less. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yes. I have a question. Someone is asking, what are the sources of some of these statistics? Is it generally the federal government? Is it the private sector, nonprofits?
All of the above. So some of the statistics that I pulled, and I should have specified these. A lot of these are from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. That's where I pull most of mine.
Hmm.
Gartner is
Okay.
another one that I pulled from. But yeah, Bureau of Labor Statistics typically puts them out monthly. You have to, if
Okay.
you go, they're open source. You can go find them. There, you got to dig for them. It's not as it's not as
Hmm.
intuitive. You really have to drill them out. But you can find these statistics pretty much if you go look just for 2022 recent
Okay.
employment statistics through Google. You could pull a lot of these,
Okay.
and a number of
Thank
them are based on independent surveys
Mhm.
and I look at some of the reputable organizations, and of course I look at the survey size and population and where it's pulled.
Mhm.
So those are the ones that I really put, that I would say I put credibility on.
Okay, thanks.
Absolutely.